I didn't see the very end of that, where you were going there, but I'll say what I can. My first philosopher was Freud, who I realize is a problematic figure in a lot of ways, but one of the great things in Freud is the distinction between the subconscious and the unconscious. So the subconscious is all the stuff that you know and are capable of drawing on but aren't thinking about right now, whereas the unconscious is like the stuff that you've repressed and can't make conscious. So like the time you walked in on your parents having sex, or whatever it is. So you immediately think of it and then repress it. And death is like that. So the thanatological death drive is an unconscious drive, meaning like there are powerful repressive forces within our own minds, psychic and social and cultural and capital economies that work to repress our attempts to confront the reality of death. And that's the book that's coming out in April. So on the existential view that I reconstruct, human culture is itself driven by an anxious fear to run away from the death that we cannot escape. So we run into the very thing we fear by trying to run away from it. And that has some amazing and wonderful upshots like science, but it also leads us into nihilism, especially because of the way our history unfolded, where Christianity broke the circularity of time, in which death was always followed by life, again, into a dead end where we put reincarnation not in spring coming out of winter, but in one guy, and then imagined a dead end to history, a wall we were going to crash into. And as a result, we've been wanting that. We wanted that during Christ's life, and we still want it. 1999 was a fascinating example where we actually unconsciously but powerfully sublimated all of that into a techno problem. Oh, Y2K is going to destroy the financial systems. I was cheering for it. And, and nothing else. It was like, oh, I got a bag of chips that expired 100 years ago. That was my Y2K. So, yeah, for the future of I want to hear more about your thoughts on that. I don't have any.
Okay, go ahead.
So, the way I see it is like as more of the mechanical stuff gets automated away, you suddenly have so much free time on your hands, and then we can't really distract ourselves with our usual distractions anymore, right? We can't suddenly be faced with this void. What's my actual purpose of being, right?
Yeah. We'll become existentialists.
That's right, they're forced to face the void all day long because everything else is done for you.
I love it. No, my talks that I've given here in the past have been about how death discloses the nothing, and that learning to deal with your anxiety enough to hold yourself into the nothing is where art and creativity comes from. That we glimpse these inchoate possibilities that make us unsettled because they don't fit into our pre-existing world, but that's where the new enters into the world from. So
Why are you shaking your head?
Well, I'm laughing because there is a purpose. It's to end involuntary dying. No one should die because they don't want, unless they want to, and if we are...
That's a bad goal.
Why is that? It's the only important question.
So see the conclusion of my death book. It's immortality be bad.
Not immortality, just maybe 1,000
Well, there'd be a lot of people who would never voluntarily die.
Well, that's their choice.
No, it'd be terrible.
Well, there's a lot of space for our minds in the ether. We can talk about it.
Okay.
That's okay. We'll continue on. Thank you, Iain.